Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall not many people seem to be very aware of what happens. Mito raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk.
Nakai, I take it Hisao is in the infirmary now.
Yeah, I took her there and the nurse said I should let her rest. Mito nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk.
Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please.
His speech is hushed. Well, I should have said it quieter then. But overall, he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Mito to speak.
Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is?
To cater to the needs of disabled students.
Mito scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all the future that you would have been denied in regular education.
Huh?
Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort?
The bluntness of Mito's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation.
No. That's right, we want you all to leave here as useful members of society.
I'm not quite sure I'm following you.
I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You are possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures.
That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely.
You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that?
I can't say I have.
Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is.
I can't say that I put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lilly questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. And besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Mito gives a disapproving sigh before continuing.
Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless faculty, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff.
You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future.
Right.
As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Mito totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something?
Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I?
But that's not... Mito cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence.
Iguzawa's case is very much like that, but instead of CPR or pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. Faculty was more aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough?
I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his arguments. While her condition does at first seem to be fully physiological, its worst effects are being on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life.
I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school if you keep your head down. I'm sure you're... Wait, no, I didn't freaking... There's a full stop. Maybe you won't have to get used to the school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams.
I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to the school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako?
I believe, I hope that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately.
He next care to emphasize the last word as if it wasn't quite clear enough already. It gives me a moment to mull his words over.
Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your marks have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing.
He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now.
Go collect your things and I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, thank you. With whose roundabout speeches left my thoughts scattered, I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused about what Mitter said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself, but I don't know whether that is just male bravado or genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, so is panic attack. I'm not sure what the difference is between an anxiety attack and a panic attack. Or if there is a difference. It probably is a difference, but I don't know. I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship with Cher and what I know about her. I had a hard time dealing with 4 months in hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions, nor even her tastes in music, food and movies, all the little things that I knew about all of my old friends. Just what have I been doing? All this time I've been with her and Lily. In the distance I hear the bell signaling the end of the classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dorm room. Ow, that's a loud ringtone. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. I like, that's a loud ringtone, then the bird chips in. It's like, no, I'm louder than that. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello, Hisao and Hanako speaking.
Oh, Hisao, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you.
I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even on the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me.
I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you.
Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually.
Good. I have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person.
It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door and she soon calls me in. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table.
Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today?
My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizune and Misha's questioning, offer aid to I'm getting discovered, and a subsequent panic attack. I add Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it.
I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I'd hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now?
Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now.
She wasn't in the library or the tea room where I checked, so I can only assume that too.
You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Do they concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words.
My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her and spend some time with my family.
What? Is she alright? When do you leave?
I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get.
Stable, that's good for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable, that's a relief.
Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so you could think of something before we told Hanako. After today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party.
I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for her going away, right?
You make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly two.
That's one relief at least.
With that in mind, what do you suggest then?
Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year?
Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She'd locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well.
This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave then.
That does sound like it would be the easiest option.
I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from glass as well.
That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now?
I think that would be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking. And these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket and only a few books, papers, and purely, items on the shelves. Words that I don't use often are words that I usually can't pronounce. Even her bedsheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is laying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself, and the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her back down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much.
Hello, Hanako. Hisao told me about what happened today. Are you alright?
Hanako's eyes open, though only a little.
I'm okay.
She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it.
Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now.
She doesn't look no sign okay, though at least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this.
Hisao's right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you.
I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level.
I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako.
Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytic analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels out the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat beside her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other, but it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Lily, if you want me to go,
I don't want that.
Lily and I are both surprised at Hanako mustering her courage. A half-mumbled okay is all I can give her in reply, and I take her a desk chair to sit on.
Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news.
So Lily's going to break the news now, with Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly. Perhaps Lily thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it will ever be.
My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time.
Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression.
Your family, you mean in Scotland, right? That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long, probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Hisao will be here, right?
That's right, I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her.
Is your aunt going to be alright?
I'm not sure. Silence falls. It's depressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is Ano's misfortune. I decide to bring up the other matter that brought us here, to distract at least in part from the dismal feeling permeating this room. Anyway, we're thinking that it'd be a good idea to have a going-away party for Lily, and it could double as, yeah. I cut myself up before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lily gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze.
Is that alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone, just something small in my room. So, just in the school, just us? That's right, just the three of us, if you like. I could ask Akira to come as well. Okay, you're only gone for a week. 1 week or two, yes. I promise you it won't be any longer. Okay.
Most people would be upset at hearing about a friend's family member feeling ill and happy at having a party, but with Hanako it seems that both events are on the same level. Alright then, you look like you need a rest, Hanako, so it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now.
You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Hisao, right?
His voice is pensive, an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she.
I understand. Thank you, Lily, Hisao. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night.
I let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels little like I've been deep underwater, and only now I've been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright?
I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently.
Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement, given how you look.
I think I managed to get a couple of hours sleep before class. I'll be okay.
I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day, and staying up isn't good for your complexion.
Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Good night, then.
Okay, night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room and begin to make my way to my own. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind. Huddled and pitiable, lying helpless with tears on her cheeks. I begin to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy, person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take our relationship further than what we share now, when she's so fragile and vulnerable, wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her, to try and stop anything like this ever happening again. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. Completely different, isn't it? Just like really serious, somber, and then Hanako is more noticeable in her absence than she is in the room. I feel her empty desk calling out for me. I find myself peering over my shoulder endlessly, hoping that I'm hallucinating and that Hanako will magically appear. Okay, that's like lighten the mood a bit. Now picture it. Her desk is like calling out to me. It's like, Hisao, Hisao, Hisao. No, it doesn't quite do it. It just makes it silly. Well, that's the point. Reaching out. Yeah, that's what the desk is doing. But whatever. Back to the plot. She makes sure she's as small a presence as possible when she attends class. Although she has been getting better recently, that fact never changed. Nobody ever pays her any heed in class, and now that she's not here, they don't notice her absence, as if she just never existed. Lily did say that her skipping class wasn't an unusual thing before I met her, but it's still very off-putting. The bells heralding the end of school make me jump in my seat. It's only now that I notice Misha is prodding me in the side with her mechanical pencil to get my attention. Hello, is anybody there? Hey, stop that. Ah, there we are. Welcome back to Earth, Hichan. Well, they were Misha. Well, I was about to say Michan. What? Misha always lightens the mood, usually. But honestly, I wonder what it's going to be like in Shizune's route when we get around to that, because I imagine we're going to see a more serious side of Misha at some point in that. What are you talking about? You keep on gazing off into space. I was beginning to think that you might be trying to contact alien life. I really didn't get much sleep last night, so I don't have Misha's words. I'm not sure whether it was due to my medicine side effects, Hanako's panic attack yesterday, and my worrying about her in general, or all three. I yawned tiredly before resting my chin in my palm, having been reminded of how badly I slept. Hey, are you really alright? Yesterday kind of rattled me as well. Yeah, I guess. Wouldn't speak to Hanako again, though. Did you see her last night? Yeah, Lily and I talked to her. This may sound a bit weird, but can you tell Shizune thank you from both me and Lily? I know Lily technically didn't thank Shizune, but I could tell by her action last night that she wanted to. At least that's how it worked out in my head. I think what Shichan is trying to say is, you're welcome. The furious signing in Shizune's reddened cheeks tell me that what she said was entirely different. Her blatantly flustered expression is amusing enough to make me chuckle. What's so funny, Hichan? Was it something we said? Oh no, that's not it. I was simply thinking about how cute Shizune can be at times. You're right, Shichan is really cute when she tries not to be. I noticed that Misha decides not to sign a response to Shizune. Maybe Shizune's rage is enough for accounting to any quantity of cute. Nevertheless, Shizune quickly calms down and signs something else to Misha. Oh, okay, Shichan wants you to come to have dinner with us. Dinner, eh? Turning away from them a bit, lest I be swayed by their pleading smiles, I begin to mull it over. The invitation certainly is tempting. A takeaway dinner with two cute girls is not a bad thing, after all. The thought of Hanako locked up in her room, though, keeps dancing on the edge of my mind. Sorry, I'll have to pass. Ah. Misha doesn't sign my response, but Shizune picks up on it easily enough and grimaces in disappointment. She moves her arms, assumably beginning some form of either protest or whatever, but stops herself and taps Misha's shoulders twice. Once Misha gives Shizune her attention, the only statement Shizune has on the matter is a shrug. Oh well, it's your choice, Hichan. I promise I'll join you two another time, if that helps. Misha perks up at this, but Shizune doesn't share her reaction, with a flick of the head to signal for Misha to follow her away. Shizune simply raises her hand to silently wave me goodbye. As the two make their way out the door, I return the gesture until they're out of sight. I didn't think they would be so disappointed, and it makes me feel a little bad for ditching them. Still, I have things to do. That's the thing, really, isn't it? In situations like this, you feel bad about, if you actually enjoyed yourself doing something while your friend is in a state like that, you feel bad. It's just like, it's weird how it works like that. The girls' dormitory is especially rowdy today, with a number of girls loudly playing games and watching the television in the common room on the first floor. I can hear their voices even now, standing in front of Hanako's door. It's an odd contrast to the emptiness of the floors she's on. The voices from below make the emptiness feel all the more lonely. I had hopes Hanako would be in class today, especially after the talk Lily and I had with her last night, but I feel like I shouldn't hold it against her. It was a pretty awful episode, and to have experienced it firsthand must be all the worse. Not knowing what state she's in, I take a small breath before giving a few sharp knocks on her brown door. All I can do is stand and wait, doing my best not to feel anxious. As the seconds wear on, I begin to think she might be asleep and didn't hear me knocking. The door handle rattles a little before I can raise my hand to knock again. The door opens the sliver, an eye appearing in the gap only just large enough for it to peer through. I'm sure the school would install a peephole in her dormitory door if only such a thing was allowed. I just stand and smile at her. I don't think words would really help here, after all. The act is returned in kind, with Hanako wordlessly looking at me. The gap's not wide enough to see her expression, and I can only guess what she's thinking. Time passes as we look at each other, the only sound being the disembodied, whatever, from the ground floor. I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually the eye moves away. I keep wondering whether she'll let me in or shut me out until the door slowly begins to creak open. Honestly, I just suspect to just like pop up again and be like, just like, it's Higurashi! Don't ruin the mood here. Now that I have a full view of her and her bedroom behind, the first thing I notice is that Hanako's hair is quite damp. She's recently showered, which made it even more obvious by the scent of shampoo wafting towards me. What is this track called? Comfort. I remember, I got a program called Synthesia, which is essentially like Guitar Hero, only it's like piano, and unlike Guitar Hero, it can actually teach you things, sort of. I mean, if you have a MIDI file and you insert it, it'll show you all the notes for all the instrumental pieces and all that. And to get to the point, I've found various ones for Katawa Shoujo, and Comfort is one of the tracks that I found. So yeah, I just can't be arsed actually, getting around to actually learning them on my keyboard though. Besides, I still haven't got my freaking lead for that yet. Or maybe it's arrived earlier today, and I didn't notice because I was sleeping for most of the day, but whatever. Yeah, read that. The look on her face seems one of curiosity, as if she's not really sure what to make of me. Even so, I'm not really all that sure of what she's thinking. It feels as if she's gone away for a long time, and having now returned, neither of us knows what to say to the other. Hanako realizes she's staring, looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decide to take it as an invitation and step past her into the room, closing the door behind me as I do so. I can see her hands fiddling in the folds of the oversized gown that hangs from her shoulders. I try to concentrate on what I want to say, but the scent from her addles my senses. To my surprise, it's not me, but Hanako that breaks the silence. Why? Because, why did I come here? I was worried about Hanako, so I came to her room. She let me in, as I had hoped, and then... What? What did I mean to do? What did I mean to say? Why didn't I think this through before coming here? Ow! I want to make up for what I feel I caused, at least partly. I want to try and remove the distance I feel between us since then, and to see her happy. How can I do that when I don't know the first thing about her? I wonder if this is how even Hanako felt when she saw me lying in that sterile pastel blue hospital bed. A deep sigh steadies my nerves a little and ends my stammering. I don't think I've ever felt this nervous around someone before. When I'm like this, I don't think I can lie. Even if I could bring myself to, Hanako would see right through it. See through it right away. I don't know, I just wanted to see you, I guess. Her fingers stop moving, give me a little surprise. Looking up to her face, she gives a sweet smile and a nod. That was a satisfactory answer for her.
Since you're here, I'd like to play a game of chess with you.
I was just thinking that, actually. It's like, you know what, why don't you two just, like, be like, hey, let's play a game of chess. And she actually does want to play a game of chess. I almost hang my head in disbelief that all she wants to do, after all I've been winding myself up so much, is play a game. Looking at her face, though, a tentative smile perched upon it, I realized that this is more than that. She could have not bothered answering at all. She could have shut it as soon as she saw my face. She could have asked me to leave. She could have rejected me at many points, but she didn't. Now with this calm face, she wants me to play the same game that we played when we first really spent time alone together. A feeling of relief washes over me. Everything will be alright. Hanako has let me into her world. As long as we can be together like this, I think everything will be alright. It'll be my pleasure. Chess. Off-screen chess. Do 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 do.